It's another episode of Bonafide Her podcast featuring the one and only Miss Desiree Cross.
Hi
How you
guys, I'm so happy to be here.
How you doing?
I'm good. It's been a beautiful weekend. Labor Day weekend, so we got a little 3-day weekend, so I'm happy about that. But it's Tuesday. I'm ready to get back to work. How are you?
Hey, they say time is money and money is time, but hey, another day,
Mhm.
another blessing, another dollar. Hello. So
Yes, clock it.
let's get it started. Or I was gonna say Clark it, but some people don't get the mention.
Yeah.
So if you do. So let's get it started. So Miss Desiree, can you tell us how you got to where you are in your sports journey?
Yes, absolutely. So, for those of you who don't know, I went to the University of Kentucky and really like my sports journey for like my career started there. In high school, I ran track, I cheered, and I played basketball. And I held the school record for track at my high school until my sister came along 6 years later and broke it. Shout out to Promise Cross. She's a beast. But yeah, honestly, my entire life, my family played football, basketball, baseball, track. Like our entire family were such sports people, and I have always loved the game. Like whatever game it is, competition is my best friend. And I think I just kind of took that into life. Um, but yeah, so went to the University of Kentucky for sports broadcast. So I went in to, talk through sports and all things sports. Um, I did that for about 3.5 years, and then COVID hit. So they took us off the field. I couldn't interview players. I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do. All the while I was pregnant. So I had my child and kind of decided that, sports broadcast, as much as I love it, it wasn't really meant for me at that moment. We were away from people and it was really hard to get gigs. And then as a mom, I also was like, hey, it's just not working for me right now to work at all hours of the night and the morning. And I was traveling to the NFL draft. I was going to Nashville that year for it, and I did it with my child, but it was a lot. So I quickly decided to just transition into um, marketing, and there I could do that on my phone for athletes and for coaches and for clients that we had. And yeah, that's kind of how I got my start at the University of Kentucky. I worked in communication, sports video, PR. I did all different spaces in it. So I got to really gel with players and athletes all the while learning the background of like making hype videos, making intro videos, posting out to socials for them and things like that. So shout out to the University of Kentucky.
I was about to say, she. I said, don't play around with their sports. They love their sports.
They love their sports, regardless of if anything, if it's successful for the year or not. We go hard for UK.
For sure. And my question is, what was, for you, what was that like, being able to, during the time when you were at Kentucky, what was that like to be able to interview some of the players, especially like the
Mm.
ones that were getting, you probably like the ones that were like nationally ranked or nationally known before they stepped into the court or the field?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was incredible. I think in the moment I didn't really realize, how many people in this world would kill to have this moment. I was at Kentucky. I always knew it was powerful, but I didn't know how powerful it was until I stepped into the arena or the zone. So it was amazing. I mean, from freshman year of college, I was, in the media room with the University of Kentucky basketball team, which was incredible, giving interviews and taking interviews. But to be honest, like, I think realizing that they're just people was significant. Realizing that they're just at the time young boys, young girls who are just interested in their sport. All they know is their sport. All they love is their sport. And yeah, I think for me that was just something that I was like, wow, like I was happy to be there, but at the same time, I just really recognized that, like, all the hype out there, all the people who are just like drooling over these people, which they're amazing, top talent. But yeah, just realizing that they're just like me.
For sure. I wish people would understand that. And
Yes.
like it's like they just want to be like, we
They
just
want
like,
to be normal.
yeah, because it's always that platform or that pedestal that is placed on them where like they're like treated like more than human. I'm like,
Yeah. And they're criticized more as well, which is not fair.
it isn't. And what people don't know is, see, first of all, shout out to Sam Green and AthleteCon because that's how we
Yes.
got introduced. Because first of all, you and Promise look like twins. I swear, oh gosh, I was like,
I know. We get that everywhere we go. And we have a third sister, shout out to our third faith. And we're all just like copy and paste, copy and paste. So,
like copy paste, just like boom, boom, boom. I'm here for it. So my question for you is, and it was crazy because we were just talking about like when we were there, we were just talking about some of the athletes there that were like, oh, these people are you, but like my question for you is, especially like, you know, when I think you were during that time, oh, what's his name? Oh my gosh, his I think he was gonna go to the NBA. He was on his way to the NBA draft, and he tragically passed. Terrence.
Terrence, yeah. Yeah, I remember.
So, when you heard about, him going to the draft and then his tragic passing, what was,
Yeah.
as a Kentucky fan, but also you worked around with the Kentucky Athletics, what was that, what was what was your thought when you first heard like everything that conspired to where it is to like how the outcome was to like how now he's being remembered?
Yeah. Honestly, that was so tragic. It was just a moment of just like, you have to take a deep breath and you have chills that come over your body and you just have to trust that God's, plan, maybe he fulfilled his purpose on this earth. I don't know. But I do remember the whole Kentucky, unit as a unit was just so heartbroken over this. Because we can relate. Seeing those kids on campus and them walk through and just be so full of life and energy and love and talent. They are so full of talent, and it's just really, really sad to see something, in somebody who was going to go so far, um, just get that taken from him, and especially from something that's like, and I'm not condoning anything negative at all, but a decision that you make when you're young, to go fast and be crazy and feel wild, it's very relatable. So it's just really, really sad to see something like that happen to one of our own.
Yeah, because when I tell you when I first started, I was like, dang, this he was so young, like,
So
and
young.
but what the NBA did for him when they did the honorary draft thing, I was like,
Hmm.
that was, and then like seeing his family get up and his little
Yeah,
brother was just like wondering what's going on,
I know.
like he is so innocent, like he doesn't know what's going on, but it's like he's gonna learn, but it was I think a lot of people forget like life is so short and like like something like that sometimes it's crazy how like something like that brings a whole unit come together
Yeah,
and it's like man like why do we it's like sometimes like dang why do we take life so granted instead of like
yeah.
actually cherishing it so
Mhm.
but my question for you is though you know you and Promise got a chance to come to AthleteCon. You know,
Mhm.
what was that like to be part of AthleteCon and going and being part of that the community
Yeah.
for AthleteCon?
AthleteCon was absolutely incredible. Like honestly, unlike anything I have ever seen, felt, tasted, anything. So shout out to Sam Green for real. It was so amazing for athletes. Like just being in the athlete space on my space, and then Promise being an actual athlete, like currently to see it, Sam pouring into these athletes, it's just so necessary, to be given the resources that you need to succeed as an athlete. And especially right now in such a pivotal time where NIL is, recently being introduced and, even learning how to, navigate the NIL space, even learning how to navigate your own brand or navigate your athletics, all while being this image or this figure, to people outside of you is powerful. And for someone to come in and really set these athletes up and give you guys the opportunity to, capitalize off of that and do it the right way, not just capitalize, but actually know your whys and know, the back end of why you're doing what you're doing. And, it's just like business structure, for me related to entrepreneurs. It's like, jumping into something and not having the proper structure is just chaotic. But for you guys, Sam's allowed you guys to jump in, to being an athlete and being this, person of name, image, and likeness, and actually know your whys and have your structure behind you and have the resources. Like I remember she gave resources for athletes to go and make merch. Like that's incredible, for you guys to have the power over merch. And then she gave resources for just learning your finances. Like there were people there to just help that. All the little different things that you could need as an athlete in this space. She provided those tools. So AthleteCon was incredible. I highly recommend any student athlete or entering, anybody who's even like connected to the space of athletes. Like for me, it was incredible because we represent athletes in just their social media management. We're not an agent or a manager in any way, but we just make sure that athletes' brands continue to be consistent and strong. So for me, it was awesome to just even see, all the things that athletes have at their fingertips.
For sure, because like, woo, like it was. The hotel was so nice.
Oh, it was so nice.
And then the whole rooftop party, I was like, when I
Mm-hmm.
went up there, I felt like, what's her name? Tiffany, she ready that
Tiffany Haddish.
yes.
Yeah.
I felt like her when she's like, ooh, girl,
Yeah,
this is nice. I felt like that when I first got up to the rooftop party. And I'm like, oh, like
she spoiled everybody that came. Like I don't think anybody expected it to be so nice.
I was like,
yeah, she was putting everybody in their element. She's like, just know this is what's coming.
And they had a whole throne, and then had like the crown, and then they had it was like, and the food that was being sampled. I was like,
yes, they were walking around handing it to us like we were like famous. I'm like, yes.
Like I was like, oh, chicken and waffles on a stick,
on a stick,
and then like a slider on a stick.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I was like, all right,
incredible.
Not to mention, it's like, it's like, oh, I'm trying to eat good, and I got some dresses, so I'm trying to be like,
yep.
But
she did the thing. And I loved also that she put such special touches on the entire weekend, but she made sure that the food, that even that little component, that was going into athletes was healthy and good and strong. So I loved that little piece of it too.
Of course, because maybe.
Yeah.
It's just like, it was just amazing because especially seeing like everybody going all in with like the social media, like creating content. Like they were starting creating content when they first met. Like everybody, they're like, oh my gosh, it's like, and I was like, like it was crazy because like, I was telling a couple of them, I was like, I was like, I would see some sounds or whatever, and I'm like, you know what? This would actually be, I was like, have y'all thought of doing this sound? Because I'm like, this reminded me of y'all. Like, just like, and they're like, oh, yes.
Yeah.
It was like, for me, I was like, because to me, I always love to see people win. And I'm like, this would be a great sound for them to create content. And it was crazy because it was, I did that with, I showed it to two girls one time, and they actually used it on the first day. It was still one, like, if you're that girl, you just gotta be that girl.
Yeah.
And it was the one that Meg Thee Stallion said. I was like, oh,
I
okay,
love
yeah. So
that.
yeah,
Yeah, that's some good content. They need that too, because I know a lot of times athletes are just so focused on their craft and things like that. It's really hard for them to even manage social media, which is a whole nother job. So shout out to you because they needed that.
I mean, like people gotta understand, like, what everybody does outside of the sports. Like you gotta
Mhm.
understand what they are. Like they're more than their sport,
They are.
which leads to my question is, I always
Mhm.
say that athletes are humans first. So my question for you is, how important is mental health for you as both, a former athlete, a mother, and a woman in sport?
Yeah, mental health is everything. And I love the space that we're in right now. And I'm looking forward to the space that we're going in the future with just better understanding mental health and actually having the resources behind it to give to these athletes and to people in general. Um, in an athlete, I think it's really important because they have to juggle so much and they have, especially now that this NIL space has happened, the pressure is even up higher than it's been in the past because you're really being treated like a professional now and not just a student. Um, so yeah, the stakes are even higher and it's a lot of pressure even more so to, treat your brand like, a brand and not just being an athlete coming right out of high school like, you're just fresh to everything. You don't really get that chance to go from like high schooler to collegiate athlete, then to pro. It's kind of like almost like high schooler to pro immediately. So the pressure is high. But yeah, in the mental health area, I really think that it's important to just encourage every athlete that or the people who are watching, just to, not fear where your mind can take you because it's really, really important to just have control of your mind and the outside pieces that like affect your mind. Um, but yeah, seek that help. Like every single school, I'm pretty sure now has in place resources for athletes to, go and talk to somebody. And don't think that therapy is this negative thing. Like therapy, just like they say the doctor, like it's important to have something in place before, you have issues. Now, if you're already having mental health issues, like now's the time. But even if you don't, in order to create a safe space for yourself, go talk to somebody, especially while those resources last, because I'm telling you, college flies by, and in a moment you have resources, and then in an instant you don't have any at all, and you have to go pay for them, and out of pocket and get those things. So I would highly suggest to use all the resources that you have. Um, Speaking, to your mental health, and I know that a lot of times communities now within colleges are, connecting and they're creating communities for athletes to have a safe space and to talk about issues that they have as a team, as a collective. And that way the colleges can now implement things because it's a really new space. The branding, the big branding that these athletes are doing right now, and then that's closely connected to mental health. So yeah, I would encourage student athletes to take control and use their resources, and then just also have a foot in front of it because it's just better to not.
Absolutely. And it's just like I always like we were just I wish people would understand just
Mhm.
you just try one day of living with a student athlete.
In someone else's shoes, I swear.
Like you will be singing a whole different tone.
I
So
swear.
and then the whole like people would like think that college athletes have it easy. I'm like, no.
You have no idea. Yeah.
Like no. Like
Yeah. And
it's
it's so funny because it's like even people need to just, like you said, put yourself in someone else's shoes. I know it may sound like you would love to be in their shoes, for a day, but the pressure, like I don't even know if a lot of people could even handle the pressure in itself. Not even the skill level, the talent level, to go out and produce the actual like pressure to produce, but just to be in their shoes, like just to stand in their shoes, like the education, the grades that you have to maintain, like the trainings that you have to be at, the 5 a.m. lift sessions that you have to make, like directly from there, sweaty and gross, going to class, like and actually producing in class, like they don't understand. And then that's all the while you could have so much going on back home or with your family or, within your friend group, like teachers hating on you, like that's a real thing. Like, all the things that come with that, people hating on you, men and women, like that are around you, that are in your close circle. Like, you never, ever, ever know what the person next to you is going through. And it's so important. Like, even if you say you could put yourself in people's shoes, a lot of times those people can't even. So,
They can't even. It's that's the real thing. The teachers hating on the athletes.
mm-hmm.
That's real. You think
Real.
like, yeah, it's probably shown on TV because that thing is it's real. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
it's
real. It's real. And a lot of people who, and I pray that it's more so teachers and professors are not, but it is very real. My own dad has had a very close experience and told me all about his collegiate career where he was highly hated on. And I don't like that, but at the same time, you never know what those professors and things are going through either. So not that they're right, because they're very wrong, but they could be an ex-college athlete who never got to where they wanted to be. Like, there's all kinds of reasons why people are the way they are. It's not okay. It's not acceptable. But yeah, just kind of thinking through those things is good for the mind.
so my question for you is like, you have cross media sports and LLC. So my question for you is, can you break down what cross media is about?
Yes, absolutely. So, Cross Media was the company that I founded years ago. Like I said, right out of college, I, understood that branding is so important. And, thank you to UK Athletics because they taught me all things branding, all things editing, all things scripting, the full 360 of it. But I just saw how important it was for athletes. And I saw the space, even though NIL wasn't even there yet, I saw the space that it was going to. And so I was like, I want a company where I can help these athletes and coaches brand themselves. Um, and put themselves in a position to get brand deals. So yeah, I just I wanted consistency. So Cross Media LLC was founded, and we do media marketing and management. So social media management is our bread and butter, but marketing and media is basically just to put the clips together. If it's a basketball player, if it's a football player, if it's a volleyball player, making sure that we put that media together to produce to their audience on their social pages. And then we also do the full scale of things. So if you want a website, make sure that their website is strong. And that's kind of how Cross Media Sports started, just because I realized what a different world it was. With Cross Media LLC, we do a lot of different brands. We started in restaurants, we brand gyms, we have pediatric clients, we have a lot of different clients that kind of are the full scale. But I really wanted to hone in on cross media sports because it's such a big thing right now. And, so many players out there need that management and need that consistency on their social media pages while they're out on the field or the track or the court, killing it.
For sure. So like, what are how do you present like, say if somebody wants like their social media to be better or better everything,
Mm-hmm.
how would you like present yourself or how would that go about?
Yeah, so honestly, I do a lot of networking. Obviously, I'm a huge sports girly, so a lot of games I'm at, connecting and networking. But our strongest connector is us connecting with agents. So a lot of agents um, that represent these sports clients and athletes, we're directly connected with them. So if they are managing them or making sure that their contracts and things are working beautifully, we are on the back end with those agents and we're like, hey, if this person needs management, this is where we're at. And that's really where we directly connect. And then in addition to that, we also just speak to families and clients directly, athletes, and we just kind of give them an audit. That's usually when they come to us, we let them know, okay, here's what we see, here's the potential that we see, and then we do like a sort of call with them, get them comfortable, understand their needs and their wants and their goals with their social media. A lot of athletes goals right now that we have are hey, I want brand deals. And, with that, we're not a sales company by any means, but we do put you in a position to get those brand deals. So we make sure that your pages are beautiful. We make sure that anybody who comes to the pages who might want to work with you can easily find where to work with you. We make sure that aesthetic is there. Aesthetic is everything for your pages. And we just make sure that you're well branded.
For sure, because we love the aesthetic. So
The aesthetic is everything.
I feel like that word was the whole like word lately. Was
I
that
know.
it's like I never said I was perfect.
Yeah, no. Shout out Amaya.
I probably should not have watched it this season, even though like that was my first season ever watching that
Oh,
show.
wow.
But I actually knew somebody. I actually know somebody that was on that show that season. So
Ooh, who?
I'm an ace.
Oh, yay. You met him?
So I have to tell you later about that.
Okay, tell me later. Tell me
But
later.
he's good peoples, y'all.
That's
Y'all
awesome.
y'all crazy over these everything.
I know. People swear they know somebody. They swear they know somebody off of a clip or a whole show or whatever it is. But I'm telling y'all, coming from the world of production, you do not know any of these people. The producers, it is so well scripted. It is so well, you act this way, and then it's edited in a different way. So never, ever, ever pass judgment when you haven't met and felt somebody.
For real. 'Cause this is what's going on in this world these days.
Yeah.
But my question for you is this leads to, you know, how important is representation both on and off the field?
Great, great, great question. Representation is huge, to be honest. I mean, in any space, it's good because it's just a professional touch to things. You don't ever want people to think, directly that they can connect with you when you're a business just because, a lot of times with that data shows that you are taken advantage of more often than not. So yeah, having representation, having people that are professionals in their craft. I always encourage athletes and our clients like, hey, you're really good at this, and it's huge to build your team and build your unit, and build people all around you who are really good in their own crafts. But it's really tough to be amazing at everything, and especially everything that you need as a brand and that you're building as a brand. It's very, very difficult to be just on point in every single space. So it's really, really important to have representation, to have the people around you who are masters in their craft. Um, Especially, coming from sports and being an athlete who is a master in your own way. It's just important to build, that unit to where you're all masters in your craft.
Absolutely, because baby, this age when it comes to NIL, people be saying they are agents and know what they're doing, but
No.
really
Yeah.
getting for that bread.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And it's, like you said, on and off the field, it's just really important. Like, while you're killing it in your space, let someone else kill it in theirs.
Absolutely, and I think you know that's definitely one way for sure. Um, I think I always say for me, like I always say, representation matters, whether it's the professional, but also like the matter of representation of like say you seeing someone that may look like you or probably
Yeah,
like been through the same journey as you, but maybe
yeah,
in a different space. But like dang, like I haven't seen that person in so long that I haven't seen someone that looked like me, and then they killing it in their sport or their profession. But seeing that, it's like dang, like now it motivates me to like continue to keep going. So
that's huge. That's really huge. And I'll say that as well. Like, I know it's important. I forget the guy's name. He got drafted to the Jets, but he is with the woman agent, and she's blanking too. But I'm sure a lot of people.
oh, Quentin
Quentin
Williams,
Williams, yes, 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 yes.
Nicole Lynn
And
too.
Nicole Lynn, yes. Shout out to both of them. But I just remember watching that story, and I was just like, that speaks volumes to me. That he even he like really thought representation. He wanted representation in his group. You know, he wanted a boss woman who was, you know, in sports. And that in itself, I think, was just really, really powerful. And I know that there's a lot of athletes out there right now who are very serious about making sure that representation is within their realm. Whether it's, you know, where they're from, you know, someone who looks like them, or just knowing that, hey, there's a minority in this space, like Quentin Williams did, and he chose, you know, Agent Nicole Williams, or Agent Nicole Lynn, which I thought was absolutely amazing. But yeah, making sure that, you know, your brand is well depicted is so strong, and the core values that you have, you know, making sure that you have connectors to each of your core values, that speaks volumes for your brand as well.
For sure. And Nicole Lynn's been getting that into that bag too. Like
Oh my
that,
god.
the fact that, like, I mean, hey, she got one of her clients is a Super Bowl champ, Jalen
Yes.
Hurts.
Yes. Hey,
And the
Jason
fact
Hurts.
that, here's the thing that a lot of people didn't, they may forgot, but we're
Hmm.
gonna reassure this. The fact that Jalen Hurts has a whole team of women by his side in
He's
different
another one.
is in different fields, like,
Hmm.
hunty.
That's a boss. That's a boss move, a powerful move, especially since it's hard to, you know, I mean, you don't see that at all. But even as, you know, who he is, that was just a powerful statement to say, like, I'm not going to go with the norm. I'm going to, you know, switch it up and go with what I believe in. And I love that.
I mean, hey, like, he did what he did. He said what he said. He,
Hmm.
you know, and but I was very happy that the Eagles won. I know people
Yeah.
like, probably wanted the other team, but after I'm
Same.
like, look now,
We need that.
you just not only that, it's like you got to see how some people got answered a certain question, and then you
Yeah.
also got to see how some people like.
Don't. Or, yeah. Yeah.
So
Or,
it's like, and then like I was like that, and that moment I was like they had a dark cloud around that team.
yeah, that's
But,
true.
but you know, it's, I think it's interesting how like there's so many there's just so many things and factors that play in certain areas, but at the same
Yeah.
time, you know. But my question for you is, if there was a word or a phrase that would describe your journey both on and off the field, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good one. Um, I think a phrase, be the change you wish to see. I always needed that. I think even in high school, going through what I did, I was at, you know, I was one of the only ones who looked like me growing up. And, you know, with that comes a lot of insecurity. And yeah, I think I always have held that really close to my heart, like be the change you wish to see, because there was so much that I would see and I'm like, this isn't right, this isn't fair, this isn't cool. Um, you know, the way people would treat you or put you in a box, etc. So that's something that I hold really, really, you know, close to my heart. I think honestly, on and off the field, both for that, because I've always, you know, even going to the University of Kentucky, like I think that was a distant thought, even like my junior year. Like my senior year was really when I was like, no, I'm pounding the pavement and I'm doing what I want to do, like whatever it is that I want to do. And I'm grateful for people around me that were able to allow me to even see that I could do, you know, I could be in rooms that I never thought I never saw myself in. Um, but yeah, be the change you wish to see just holds, you know, a lot of weight in my journey. I never, like a lot of people, you know, didn't expect me to go on and make any strides in athletics. You know, my older brother was a monster in everything that he did. My dad was a monster in everything that he did, and I came right behind them, you know, and right behind my older brother. I was a freshman when he was a senior, so there was already a lot of pressure for me to perform at the sports that I was doing, which was basketball at the time, and then I started cheering after basketball, and then I was always running track. But um, yeah, the pressure was on, so I was just like, all right, well, let me just go after it. And I didn't really feel the pressure. I was more of like a funny type of person. Like I was like carefree. I didn't really care to meet that standard, but I also am very competitive in general. So I just took it light, but I just went hard. And I think that's what allowed me to, hold that record for my high school during the time that I did. And then I think just my mindset of believing that I can be in any room that I want, I think that allowed me to persevere. So, yeah, be the change you wish to see, I think would be a quote. But then if I had to put it in one word, I would just say perseverance.
Ooh,
Yeah.
come through with it. Come through. It's like,
Period. Clock it. I think I say that too much, but it
it's
makes
okay. It's like Clark it.
yeah, I clock it.
I don't know. Something about Clark, I ain't gonna lie. I was like, dang, she is gorgeous.
She is everything. We keep going back to our Love Island
It's
references.
happened. Look now, it just happens. It just happens to be on people's feed. It's like we didn't
Yeah.
ask for this, but
It connects. It connects. Shout out to you, Clark. You came in classy, beautiful, just like talented. She's an ex
and she's a
athlete.
cheerleader
Yeah,
too.
she cheered. She cheered. She ate. So love that competitive cheer she was in. So love that for
Four
her.
plus four is eight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ate.
eight,
She
eight.
ate down.
And we gotta give it to Miss Olandria too, because girl,
Oh yes. Oh yes. Honey, Alandria eats when she wakes up, she eats from the moment she wakes up to the moment she goes to bed. We love
did you
her.
see this recent video she was in with Keith Lee?
No.
Yeah.
They did
So
like TikTok together?
they did some TikTok video together. It was, Keith Lee, Landria, Massey Martin,
Oh yeah.
Serena and Cordell, and somebody else. So
Okay. Okay.
they
I
just
did see her with Marseille and Serena and Cordell, but that must have been a link up. I didn't get to see the video.
oh, it's there. It's on.
Okay.
I was like, it's there.
I'll
It's,
go catch up.
I was like, oh, she just yeah. I was
Eat.
like, oh, she just getting her coins in. Just
I love that for her.
we, hey, we love the Bama Barbie, don't we?
Yes, we do. We do. It's hard being in SEC school and calling her that, but love her. She is a Bama Barbie, so.
This is
I
interesting.
know.
So this is a question for you, ma'am.
Okay.
This is the first time I'm ever going to show this something like this, but there you
Okay.
go. Here's a question for you. Bow.
Ooh.
What are some ways for freelance videographer editors to put themselves in a position to work with athletes or brands?
This is a good
That's a
question. Do you
question
want
for
to
you,
answer
girl.
it or
You got it.
okay.
You got it.
Okay, this is a great question. So we contract a lot of freelance photographers and videographers as a marketing company. So honestly, as if you want to work with athletes, I would really target, obviously companies that manage athletes or media companies that work for athletes. So just like us, we contract people all over the world. As we pick up clients, it's important to have that videographer or photographer right there in that space. But I would just highly recommend, doing your research. ChatGPT is an amazing resource. Hey, what are top agencies, sports agencies in my area, or what are top media companies in my area that, you know, um, hone in on athletes, and then get all that data. Go look up each one on Instagram, via email, check out their website, send, all your stuff. I would definitely provide a deck of some sort or have an EPK. Um, well, that would be hard as a videographer, but yeah, have a deck of some sort to produce, let them know the work that you've done, have links, especially as a videographer or photographer. Videographer is huge right now because video is everything. So it's really important to have links where people can see the editing skills that you have and the work that you can produce. So yeah, I would just have that on hand, even if it's a little Canva file that you have and you just, make it clickable. Do that and have that right there. And yeah, shoot that out to every email that you find, shoot that out to every Instagram DM that you can find of these media companies and go for it. And also, LinkedIn is a huge resource that a lot of young people don't use as much as they should, but it is a huge resource where you can find contract work.
Cross posting too, y'all. I learned as an athlete con is cross posting.
That's good.
Cross posting your stuff. Cross
Yeah.
posting, whether it's from, say, go on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, just everything. All your social media platforms, cross post everything, just your content, because that is where you're gonna find your community there. That's also where you're gonna find like the right people you will like connect with. So
yeah, that's really, really, really important to, use the people, like the work that you do, even with me and Ashley right now with Bonafide her podcast, like, use, like, she'll be able to use my audience and I'll be able to use hers, when we collaborate. So that's huge, just, the work that you do as a videographer or photographer, making sure that you do these collaborations with these clients that you're having and making sure that your following can be seen by others and vice versa.
Clark it. So I always ask my guests this question because Bonafide means authentic and unique. So what makes Miss Desiree Cross Bonafide? What makes your story stand out?
I like that question. I mean, I think everyone's story is special. I think everyone's story is unique because we're all different. Like I always, revert to the little our fingerprints. Like we all have a different fingerprint. Like that in itself is so unique and, bona fide. But I really think just like my mind, I know that I have something different than the average person. I know that, as much as I can fall down, I'll get back up every single time. And I think that makes me really unique. And also just in the sports realm, I think what makes me really unique is just all of my experience. Like on top of UK athletics, I worked simultaneously with Kentucky State University, Transy, Keeneland, which is a huge horse track, which is a sport that people don't even realize is such a sport, horse racing. Yeah, and I worked with so many, athletes now. I've worked in, on the NFL draft. I've worked on Good Morning Football. I've worked with ESPN. Like, there's so many different components that I feel like make me unique in the sports world that really bring, the special piece that you need to represent an athlete. So, yeah.
Oh, we love a working woman. Hey. We love it.
Thank you.
Love it. So, Miss Desiree, can you let the folks know where they can find you and follow you as well as support you?
Yes, please. So my personal Instagram is at Desiree Leah, just DESIREELIYAH. So I always encourage people, my business is very personal, so I don't mind you following me on my personal. And then down here, I have my business Instagram. So at Cross Media LLC, CROSSMEDIA LLC. And then sports, the world is at Cross Media Sports. So go follow us, like a few of our pictures, we'll like back and we'll follow back. And we are just really appreciative to even be on here. Like I love connecting with other, people in the industry. And I love your podcast. I'm always following ever since I met you. I told you that. So I love what you're doing for athletes. You're giving them a voice, and I'm just honored to be on here.
Oh! I might try a little bit afterwards, but.
Oh. No, really, it's special. It's really special.
Oh, I do my best. I really do try my best. I definitely appreciate it, though.
Of course, babe.
Y'all be sure to follow the queen herself. Y'all be sure to follow the queen in all her social platforms and follow Cross Media LLC and Cross Media Sports. We love a woman in sports, y'all. We love a Black woman in sports, okay?
Yes.
How's that? We love it.
Yes, we do. Thank you, Ashley. You're the best.
Of course. Y'all be sure to check out the live replay of Bonafide her podcast, episode 157 afterwards. You can check that out after this. Thank you guys for tuning in. Big shout out to Miss Desiree Cross for coming on and sharing your story. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace.
Bye, guys.